Hey everyone, welcome to the ranking, and welcome to a really awesome ranking in my opinion. Yes, the Oscars are coming on really soon. On March 4th, the Academy Awards are happening. As I celebrate the Academy Awards, the Oscars, I do a couple like top 10 and rankings of Oscar-themed stuff and stuff, because, tis the season, tis the Oscar season. And yeah, I thought I'd talk about animated films, because, I talk a lot about animated movies. I love animated movies, and I thought I do a ranking of all the best animated feature winners at the Academy Awards. Yes, for years this category's existed. I think it came out 2001 or something. Yeah, they introduced a new category at the Oscars, best animated feature, and a lot of great movies have won it. A lot of not so great movies have won it. But yeah, there's 16 winners as of now. There'll be 17. Yes, Coco will be in there because, let's face it, Coco has no competition because Lego Batman was not nominated. So Coco will be on this list eventually, but I can't include it because it's not official yet, but it will be because Coco's going to win this year. But yeah, there's 16 anime films that have won Best Animated Feature, and I thought I'd rank all 16 of those winners. All 16 of them, I'm going to rank them from my least favorite to my favorite. So let's not waste any time. Here's my ranking of all the best animated feature winners from the Oscars. Alright, coming in at number 16 is Brave. Brave is not a great film. I don't think this is a bad film, but I just don't think it's a very good film. And the fact that it won Best Animated Feature is absolutely ridiculous, absolutely ludicrous, and it gives me a headache that this movie beat so many a lot of great films. That's what angers me the most. Brave beat out Wreck-It Ralph, Rise of the Guardians, Frankenweenie, and Paranorman, my favorite stop-motion animated film of all time. I get it. Stop-motion animated films, they don't ever win Best Animated Feature. It's just not in the cards for them. Yes, there's one I'm going to be talking about, but they don't really ever win, especially Leica Studios ones and everything. It's not in the cards for stop-motion animated films. I have no fucking idea. It's like Japanese animated films that aren't Studio Ghibli. They don't ever win, barely, and they barely ever get nominated and shit. Your Name, Boy and the Beast, shit like that. I digress. Brave beat a lot of good choices, which is stupid, but it's an underwhelming film. It has an okay main character. It has pretty good animation, but the story is just subpar. The characters aren't very memorable. The movie isn't very memorable. It's just, that's what it is. It's just I've only seen this movie once. I barely remember a thing about it, and I've never had the urge to ever watch it again because it's kind of generic and I don't know. I couldn't get into it. I couldn't get into the story. Yes, the mother turns into a bear. Amazing. Fucking awesome. Don't give a shit. Yeah, I get it. The main character, Merida, is a role model for women. That's fine. And it's fine if people like it, but I think people should agree that it shouldn't have won Best Animated Feature. Seriously, Wreck-It Ralph at least should have won. Even if it wasn't Paranorman, Wreck-It Ralph should have won, so that's why it's my least favorite animated feature at the Oscars. Coming in number 15 is Rango. Yes, directed by Gore Verbinski. Very overrated film. This movie was praised by the critics, and don't know why. I don't think this is a very good film. Yeah, compared to Brave, I think they're both equal and stuff. They're just both kind of films. The reason Brave is number 16 is because it beat a lot of choices. This year, the year when Rango won was pretty slim pickings for animated films. I don't remember. Was Tintin even nominated for animated feature? I don't know if it was. If it wasn't, that's stupid. But it shouldn't have won animated feature. Rango is a very underwhelming film. It has good animation, that's it. I didn't like the characters, didn't like the music, didn't like the story. It was so cliched and predictable. I don't understand the love and praise for Rango. Some people call Rango one of the best animated films out there. It's not. It's an underwhelming film and one of my least favorite animated feature winners. Number 14 is Happy Feet. Happy Feet is directed by George Miller, isn't it? This is fine. This is a very cute movie, great for kids. It's got some likable songs and cool dance sequences, but again, it's very forgettable to me. I've only seen the Happy Feet 1 and 2 once ever, and I've never had an urge to watch them again, and I barely remember anything that happened in either one of them. They're fine. They're fine. Good for kids and stuff. I know a lot of people, there's a big fan base for Happy Feet, but they're just okay for me. Coming in number 13 is Shrek, the very first Shrek film. Shrek 2 is better, in my opinion, just flat out saying that. Shrek 2 is a far superior film, in my opinion. Shrek's fine. I think this was the very first Best Animated Feature winner, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, you guys will correct me in the comment section below, because that's what you guys do. That's funny. Shrek is a good movie. It's a different movie. It's funny. It's enjoyable. I loved it as a kid. I love it less now because Shrek 2 is just such a better film. Like, every time I want to watch a Shrek movie, I just watch Shrek 2. Shrek 3 and 4 are just bad films. Shrek 1 is fine. There's some good comedic scenes. I like Eddie Murphy in the film. John Lithgow is also very funny in the film. There's some really good jokes in the film, but Shrek 2 is just so much better. So when I watch Shrek 1, it's just so... It's way less funnier by comparison of Shrek 2. Shrek 2 is just... It's got so many of the good pop culture jokes. They throw so many jokes at you and everything. And just there's better characters in Shrek 2. It's got like Prince Charming and Puss in Boots and it introduces the king and the queen, the fairy godmother. There's just so many great characters in Shrek 2. And so many good story ideas in Shrek 2. Shrek 2 is just such a better and funnier film compared to Shrek 1. So that's why Shrek 1 is not as great for me. It's still a good movie and I still like it, but compared to Shrek 2, it's just not as good, and that's why it's kind of lower on this list. It's a fine movie. It has a lot of nostalgia for me, but it's just pretty good for me. Coming in number 12 is Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were Rabbit. Great film. I love Wallace and Gromit. I don't think this is like my all-time favorite Wallace and Gromit film. There's a lot of great shorts that I love. Great movie, though. It's got great characters. Wallace and Gromit are fantastic. Again, same director as Early Man. This is better than Early Man. This is a great film. I understand completely why it won Best Animated Feature. The claymation is gorgeous. The characters are great. It's funny. It's interesting. It's captivating. It's just a lot of fun. So yeah, of course, I love Wallace and Gromit. Coming in number 11 is Big Hero 6. All these movies are great. All the movies I'm going to talk about, they're all great films. Big Hero 6... I wasn't rooting for Big Hero 6 to win Best Animated Feature, even though I loved this movie. I thought this was so good. It's so great. It's got great action. I love these characters. It's got a kick-ass soundtrack, great animation design. It's got a great uplifting message and stuff. It's very heartwarming. There's like death scenes that are really intense and stuff. Generic villain, but still I like that it combined like Japanese anime, also like Marvel films, all into a Disney film. It's really cool. It's stylistic as well. It's very slick. I think this is a really great film. However, How to Train Your Dragon 2 should have won Best Animated Feature. I'm just saying. How to Train Your Dragon 2 should have won. They give it to Disney almost all the time because it's Disney and stuff, but How to Train Your Dragon 2 should have won Best Animated Feature. But still, Big Hero 6 is a great film. Coming in number 10 is Zootopia. Zootopia just came out, I was going to say last year, but 2016. It's a great film. I love the message about race and stuff. It's a great buddy cop movie. I like that it's a cop movie and it's a Disney film. It's so good. I love the characters. I love Nick Wilde. I love Judy Hopps. Both great. Great voice acting. Jason Bateman's so good in the movie. It talks a lot about race and the animation is beautiful. I love that Idris Elba plays the angry captain. It's just so funny. And it has a twist. It's a very obvious twist, but it works. And the story and the message work for what it is. And I think it's a very powerful film. Again, Kubo and the Two Strings probably should have won Best Animated Feature that year, but still, I like Zootopia. Coming in number 9 is Wally. Yes, Wally. Wally, there are two kinds of people. People who like the whole thing of Wally, or people who just like the first act of Wally. I'm actually the person who likes the whole thing. When it first came out, though, however, when it first came out, I only liked the first act. Then I didn't like the rest of the film. Like, I thought it was just like, ugh. The first act was so amazing, brilliant. Then it just got ruined when they go to space and you meet the fucking people and the fucking floaties. But I grew to love the whole film as a whole. I think it's a really great film with a really great message, and I think it works as a whole. And I like the romance between Wally and Eve and stuff. The animation's beautiful. The first act is like perfection, but the movie still works as a whole, and it's definitely one of my favorites. Coming in number 8 is Finding Nemo. Yes, what do? We swim, we swim. Great film. I love this film. It's Finding Nemo. It's one of the great Pixar films. The underwater sequences, the characters, it's about fatherhood. Usually a lot of movies talk about mothers. This is about fathers and stuff, and learning to let go of your son, because you can't always be an overbearing and overprotective father, which is a really great message for all parents out there. But it's also about, like, getting your son back and everything. It's also about independence, like with Nemo and stuff. I love this movie. I love Marlin. I love Dory. I love Nemo. The whole fish tank crew, all those fishes in the fish tank, best characters almost ever in a Pixar film. They're fucking amazing. The film is great. I've talked a lot about Finding Nemo. I love it. It's great. Coming in number 7 is Frozen. Yeah, here we go. Here's the dislike bars. Fuck you, Frozen. Frozen fucking sucks. It does. It's a great film. Yes, the animated short, the Olaf's Big Adventure that was in front of Coco was painful. It was bad. It was really bad, really irritating, and just, my God, it was annoying. It was so bad that my movie theater, we took the short out. We got rid of it opening week. But yeah, I like Frozen. I think it's beautiful. The animation is gorgeous. The snow looks fantastic. The music is amazing. Some of the best music in a Disney film. Not of all time. I'm not going that far. It's not like Lion King quality music or even Aladdin or something, or Fantasia or Beauty and the Beast, but it's still great. It feels like I'm watching like a Broadway musical and stuff, and basically it was almost like bringing Wicked to the big screen and stuff, and I liked it. I thought it was great. I like these characters. I like Anna. I like Elsa. Yes, having Hans as the villain was so obvious, but the characters are enjoyable. Olaf is very funny, and I think this is a really fun film. Yes, it has a huge backlash, but I'm not part of it. I still love Frozen. I think it's great. Yes, the merchandising is a little too far, but still, it's a great film. Coming in number 6 is Toy Story 3. Toy Story 3, oh, what a sad, this just wrecks me. This is such a sad film, and so good, this movie. How it ends is beautiful and amazing. It's the ending of Toy Story. Like, I grew up with Toy Story. I feel like I'm Andy in this film. It's so beautiful. It's not my favorite Toy Story film, though. Like, I like the first Toy Story more than Toy Story 3, but still, Toy Story 3 is amazing. It's got beautiful animation. It's got great new characters. I love Lotso as the villain. Michael Keaton as Ken is just perfect casting. You're with these characters that we all know and love, and we're with them in this one last adventure. There is some dark and heavy shit, and it's so great. And that ending, just tears. Tears. Coming in number 5 is The Incredibles. Yes, we're finally getting Incredibles 2. It's about goddamn time. We should have like 4 of them by now. Incredibles is great. Brad Bird, anytime Brad Bird's in the director's chair, you're gonna get a gem of a film, especially if it's an animated film. Incredibles. Definitely, it's not like my favorite Brad Bird animated film. I love The Iron Giant more, and another one that I'm about to talk about, but Incredibles is great. It's a superhero film, and it's a Disney film. I love these characters. The third act is probably the best part, but I like Mr. Incredible dealing with his problem, dealing with, having like a mundane job and stuff, and I love his family. I love Elastigirl. I love Violet, Dash, Jack. Great characters. I love Frozone, played by Samuel Jackson. I like Syndrome, played by Jason Lee. Like, there's a lot of great characters in this film, and Craig T. Nelson's so great as Mr. Incredible. I love his character. I love how they talk about society with superheroes and stuff, especially in the beginning. It's a really great film. Great action, great animation. It's an amazing film, and I've always wanted a sequel, and we're finally getting one. I hope it's as amazing as this one. Coming in number 4 is Inside Out. Everyone's heard me gush about it. I did a review of it when it came out. It was one of my favorite films of 2015. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's got a creative idea. Yes, they kind of did already in Osmosis Jones and Herman's Head, but it's still good. They did it better in this film. It's more unique and fresh in Inside Out. The idea of emotions in someone's head, it's great. I love the characters. The voice acting's fantastic. It's so creative and so emotionally hard-hitting. It's just a beautiful film. This is a great film for kids, a great life lesson for children and stuff, especially kids who have to deal with like moving to a different place and stuff. It is so sad. And the sad scenes aren't always the sad scenes some people think. Like, Bing Bong dying is really sad, and that's not where I cried. The sad part is with Riley and her parents and her coming to terms of, moving to a new location and stuff. That hits more home to me, and that's more relatable to me than just some silly character dying. I love Bing Bong. Bing Bong's awesome, but him dying didn't make me upset. Or even Joy crying, with the memories disappearing, that didn't make me upset either. But Riley, talking with her parents, that was upsetting to me. And yeah, it's a great film. It's Inside Out. It's amazing. Coming in number 3 is Ratatouille. Yes, Ratatouille, this is the Brad Bird one I love. And everyone praises The Incredibles, which they should. It's amazing. But Ratatouille, I think, gets the slight edge for me. I love Ratatouille. I feel like people don't talk enough about Ratatouille. I love movies about cooking and chefs and stuff, and this is great. I love this movie. Animation, amazing. Gorgeous. Atmospheric, this movie is. Has one of my favorite Pixar characters of all time. Anton Ego, great character. I love that food critic. I love Remy, Linguini. I love the evil little chef. They're great. These characters are just so awesome. And it makes me hungry. It's animated food, but it makes me hungry. And the simplicity of Ratatouille and the joy and the heartwarming feel I get every time I watch Ratatouille is why I love it so much. And it's one of my favorite Pixar films of all time, and I love it. It's so good. So delightful. Coming in number 2 is actually my favorite Pixar film of all time, which everyone knows what it is. It's Up. Up is so good. How this movie is basically directed. The first act is perfection, but the movie's still good. I love the characters. I love Russell, Mr. Fredricksen. I even like the villain, played by Christopher Plummer. He's a very sadistic fuck. The dogs are hilarious with the squeaky voices, really funny. I love Kevin, the flamingo. I love Doug, the talking dog. The relationship between Mr. Fredricksen and Russell is a very beautiful and touching relationship. It's a great, fun journey you go on with these people. It's so bizarre and out there, but it works. It's so well directed, beautifully animated. It pushes more of the boundaries of animation and stuff, and especially like Pixar films and everything. They talk about very mature content in this film, and I love it. Especially the montage in the first act. It's just brilliant, and the movie as a whole, I think, it's so good. It opens with tears, but it ends with smiles, and that's the way I want to watch any Disney film. And yeah, this movie's just fucking fantastic, and it's one of my favorite animated feature winners. It's so good. My number 1 favorite Oscar-winning animated feature winner thing. Yeah. My favorite animated film that won Best Animated Feature is pretty goddamn obvious what it is. It's one of my favorite films of all time. It's Spirited Away. Spirited Away is written and directed by Hayao Miyazaki, and I don't know what else to say about this movie that I haven't said like 50,000 times. I love this movie. Animation, perfection. Characters, perfection. Atmosphere, deep, mature, profound, subtle. It's got it all. Everything about this movie is fantastic. It's about acceptance. It's about change. It's about accepting who you are, being a stronger person, being a better person and stuff. It's also about working. It's about functionalism. It's about conflict theory. It's got a lot of different things and themes in the film. It's just fantastic. Characters, amazing. Story, amazing. Animation, one of the best. Scenes. The train sequence, one of the greatest scenes in film, not just anime films, but in films in general. When Haku finds about his past and how he was the spirit of the river that saved Chihiro. Perfection. Everything about Spirited Away is almost perfect to me. It's almost angry, because when you're a critic, you like to critique things. It's almost impossible to critique this film because it's so fucking good and so fucking perfect. It's Spirited Away. It's my favorite anime film of all time. It's one of my favorite films of all time, and it's hands down, the best animated feature winner at the Oscars. So that was my ranking of all the best animated feature winners from the Oscars. I hope you had fun with this list. I certainly did. But yeah, in the comment section below, please tell me, did you agree with this ranking? If not, give me your ranking of all the winners in your opinion. Do you think a certain one's better than another one? I know everyone's opinions are different than mine, so I'm very curious to see your guys' rankings. Comment below, let me know. And as always, for this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.